Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and I'm here to warn you about the potential for a perfect storm that's coming together into what I call the deck from hell. A lot of people around the internet are talking about this particular card interaction, but I went ahead and just kind of threw together an actual deck idea. It's not a complete deck, it's not like, oh, 3 of this, 4 of this. It's just, here's the cards that might go in it, what do you think? And I put it together, and what I think is we're all screwed. Now, it's no secret that I absolutely hate alternate win conditions. I hate them. They're unfair, they screw with the game, and a lot of times they're rock, paper, scissors decks. You know, like if you have enchantment removal, you can beat them, and if you don't, you will lose the game. Not like, oh, you might lose the game. No, you will lose the game. In other words, Storm. But this time we're talking about, of course, Standard. Specifically 2 of the new cards in Eldritch Moon. Why is this deck so bad? Well, because it contains 2 alternate win conditions that you can reliably get to. I mean, you could fit some defense, some life gain, some creature removal, you know, enough to stall long enough to reasonably get to one of these win conditions and actually win the game with it. The first combination is Demonic Pact, which goes way, way, way back to Magic Origins. Yes, it's still legal. And, of course, Harmless Offering, the adorable kitten with the creepy tail. If I'm not mistaken, when Demonic Pact first came out, there was only 2, and it might have even been 1, but we'll just say 2 ways to switch ownership of this card to your opponent and then win the game that way. And I think one was blue and one was like another color other than black, so you had to run a 3-color deck. It was super janky, just wasn't really reliable, and only one person I know actually ran the deck and they kept losing with it. Now, the 4th option, of course, on the card is you lose the game. Now, they're referring to you as the current controller of the card, not the owner of the card. If you stick this on your opponent's battlefield, they're in trouble. They're going to lose the game in just a couple turns, if not, you know, the next turn. So if somebody manages to do this to you, you either need a counterspell to stop, you know, them from summoning Demonic Pact, a counterspell to stop Harmless Offering, or redirect it, which would be even funnier. Of course, that's not standard legal. Or you just simply have to have enchantment removal, which is not that common right now, and only certain colors have enchantment removal. I am not the only one who says that the game should not be, if your opponent is playing blue, we'll say, they can't win the game. Or if you sit down against an opponent and they happen to be playing black, they can't beat your deck, because your deck just shuts down black. That's why, you know, cards like Boil and cards like, Choke and all that, where they're literally just like, if your opponent's playing blue, they lose the game. I mean, they're so stupid. People have been calling for them to get banned. It's just completely unfair. It's not how Magic is supposed to be designed, and that's why this combination really pisses people off. And then Harmless Offering in Modern, who knows what the hell that's going to do. Probably something not good. It does cost 3, it's red, and it's a sorcery, so it's not like the end of the world, but somebody might be able to make an interesting deck with it that's really not that fair. The second interaction that I guarantee everybody noticed was Tree of Perdition. It's a defender, it has 13 toughness, 0 attack, and it's mythic, so that'll do fun things at the price, but you just tap it. That's it, just tap it. Exchange target opponent's life total with Tree of Perdition's toughness. So in other words, in all likelihood, make their life total exactly 13. I wonder what that works with. Maybe Triskaidekaphobia? You know, each player with exactly 13 life loses the game. You know, that one. I thought that card by itself wasn't good enough because of the pain lands where, you know, you could just say, okay, I'm at 13, I'm just going to tap a land for no reason, pool a colored mana, and lose 1 life, go down to 12. Well, with the amount of aggro in red and black right now, if they go below 13 to stop themselves from getting to 13, you could probably just kill them, especially with flying vampires or, you know, X burn spells. So the real problem is you could put both of these in the same deck and then, okay, you got 2 combos that could go off. You're still waiting for 4 cards to meet up with 4 cards, but twice. So it's twice as likely to go off, I guess you could say. Can you shrink the odds with like scrying, drawing, fetching, you know, that sort of thing, and live long enough to get off, you know, that expensive of a card? Because Triskaidekaphobia is 4, Tree of Perdition is 4, Adorable Kitty is 3, and Demonic Pact is 4. So that's up there, and then you gotta get them both out. You gotta get 2 of those out. So already it's a 22 to 24 land deck in all likelihood, because neither of those colors has very good ramp at all, if any. But here's what I came up with. Well, Altar's Reap, for 2 as an instant, you can sack a creature and then draw 2 cards. And, you know, putting stuff into the graveyard might have a benefit at this point, too. Then, if you want to draw even more cards, you can run Expedite, which is kind of nice to get them to 13 as well, because you drop in a big striker, boom, they gain haste, you draw a card. So just having Expedite in your deck basically means you're running a 56 card deck, because this card just comes out and then replaces itself. I mean, yeah, it takes 1 mana, but 1 mana isn't the end of the world on like turn 4 or 5. Next up, we've got Insolent Neonate. It's a 1/1 for 1. Menace, that's cool, so you might maybe be able to sneak it in to do, hit somebody from 14 down to 13 on your turn, and then 13, they're dead. But other than that, you can discard a card, so something you sincerely don't need, and then sacrifice it and draw a card. Now, you can do that in response to you selecting it as a blocker. So it's a chump blocker, ditches, the creature is still considered to be blocking. So this is the perfect card to put in the deck. Next up, if you really, really want it, it does cost 4, and it's a 2/2. It's just not great, but it's Mad Prophet. Now, it has haste, so that's huge, and then you can tap it right away, of course. Discard a card, draw a card. Simple as can be. So, just repetitive draw. Basically, you get a shot at 2 cards per turn repetitively. That's not bad. Then for 1 stupid mana, especially considering it's probably going to be like a 24 land deck just so that you can get to your 4 mana by turn 4 or 5, you've got Magmatic Insight. So as an additional cost to cast it, discard a land card. No problem, you don't even need them. Then draw 2 cards for 1 mana. Hell, you got the mana for it. Throw Obnixilis in there. Draw 1 card and you lose 1 life. Now that might get you within, 13 territory, and I didn't throw any life gain in this deck design, but it might still be doable. And then plus -3 destroy target creature. Oh, they brought out like some 7/7. Alright, blow it up. You didn't get your combo ready yet. Okay, we got to start blowing stuff up. But he comes out with 5 loyalties, so that's no big problem at all. Plus, losing 2 life every time a player draws a card could get them to 13 real quick. Or if they're below 13, you could get them to 0 real quick. So that's not a bad option either. And then, of course, there's Read the Freaking Bones. Scry 2, then draw 2. You lose 2 life. So, once again, you're flirting with 13 on there. You really honestly might have to throw in like a creature with permanent lifelink or something, or some Butcher's Glee, something like that. There's also that new one from SOI that's basically a Butcher's Glee clone. Of course, both of them are creature removal because it's ambush. I mean, you ambush, all of a sudden do too much damage, and you both lose creature, you gain life, and there you go. You can keep on rolling. So now you want to either win the game with lots of damage and just draining away their life total, or get them to 13. Either way, well, you got Rolling Thunder, which is huge because you deal X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures or players. So you could just burn away their life total, or pretty much just nuke the board if you had like 6, 7, 8 mana and they had a bunch of wimpy stuff out. Then besides that, you've got Burn from Within, which does, X damage plus, 1, which is pretty darn cheap. Yeah, it's a sorcery, whatever. It does it to the creature or player, and then if you hit a creature, it loses indestructible until end of turn. And then if the creature would die this turn, exile it instead. So you are really hitting them hard with that card. And you only need to sometimes cast it for 2 or 3 to get them to exactly 13. Somebody during the pre-release played Triskaidekaphobia. The very next turn I hit him with Burn from Within, 13. Boom! Drop the bomb on them, pass the turn. They absolutely died instantly. So with just this set of cards, and I'm sure there's room for improvement. I mean, I didn't think this out too well, and it's not like that many cards from Eldritch Moon are spoiled yet. This is an insane deck. You could just speed through your deck. Just draw. Scry. I mean, Read the Bones alone is 4 shots at the card you want. And then just get the combo going by like turn 4, 5, or 6 while removing their creatures and burning away their life total. And then if you whiff on the Triskaidekaphobia, you just can't get it going, or somehow they manage to blow up Demonic Pact, you've got the aggro and you've got the burn to just nuke the rest of their life total. So I think this is an incredibly strong, durable, competitive deck. That's why I'm calling it the deck from hell. One, it's black and red, so, of course. But also, it's going to be a really annoying deck. I think some people are going to build this, and some people are going to start winning with it. I wouldn't say it's like, oh, this is the deck. It's going to just dominate the meta. It's going to be the #1 deck at tournaments. But it will be good. I mean, it will definitely be good, and I think it'll be played at Friday Night Magic for sure. As for me building it, I don't think so, because I think Tree of Perdition is going to be like $20-$30 because it's just mental. Demonic Pact is already up. It went from like $1 to like 10 or something. I don't know. It's absurd, the price right now. And then Harmless Offering is going to be just nuts on price, probably at least $10 because people want it for Modern and still kind of working it out. And then Triskaidekaphobia, I mean, it's still only about $2 a card, so no big deal there. I think there's just too many of those to go around for that to hit like $10. But still, I mean, the rest of the cards aren't worth beans, which is nice, but those couple are going to put it up, near like $100+ deck, so not really what I usually build, but and like I said, I hate alternate win conditions. They're unfair. I don't like running the deck, and I don't like playing against the deck. So why would I want anything to do with it? But let me know down in the comments if you think other deck archetypes are gonna shine. If you think Madness Vampires got a big enough boost to just dominate. I think it did. The deck right now is completely insane on damage, just utterly mental, and then they just made it better with at least 2 cards. And the Werewolves got a pretty reasonable boost, and they're pretty speed aggro, to the point where now there's 2 speed aggro decks, actually 3 if you want to count the Prowess blue-red one, I believe. So I don't think anybody's going to have time to get out Emrakul or time to meld some creatures together, but, this one's interesting too, because it doesn't have a way to gain life at the moment, except maybe if you put in Butcher's Glee, but that might be good enough. It actually might be, so you never really know. There are little ways to tweak this to make it even better, so keep it in mind, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. A little prediction for the future for you. I honestly think it's going to be Khans of Tarkir all over again in general, where stuff is just too darn expensive. Like, all the good cards are mythic, everybody wants them. Yeah, it was 100% fetch lands that were driving up the price, but, Ugin wasn't cheap either. But, I think Eldritch Moon mixed with SOI going to completely dominate. BFZ and OGW are just going to be out completely down the toilet. And a lot of the mythics people are going to want. So it's going to be really expensive to play Standard. And I don't see a whole lot coming in on the lesser cards that'll make, really quirky, weird decks doable. But we'll see. They usually spoil them last. Hopefully it'll be pretty fun to play. Otherwise, my LGS started holding Modern. So that's cool too. So I will see you guys next video.